We have a couple of questions pending, but first I wanted to throw this one out. One thing we noticed just looking at the front of the room, there's quite an age difference here between different members of the phpBB teams. I'd be curious to know, just give insights of what that's like, being able to have so many different generations working together on the same project, and especially getting to meet each other now. If any other team members in the audience would like to chime in too, let me know.
Yeah, it's not really the problem. It's you get feedback from other people that think different. Instead of, yeah. That's my opinion.
I personally have known that there's a big age difference, especially within the support team and within all the other teams. And it never really dawned on me how that reflects in real life until we just got together here, right? And it doesn't really affect you online, really, because I mean, age doesn't matter online. It's just how you present yourself. So it could be an older person presenting themselves as a 10-year-old, or it could be someone younger, presenting themselves as an older person. So it's just really all about how you present yourself on online. It doesn't really affect me, at least.
Tom, do you have you want to address that issue?
Yeah, I just want to say I'm 17 years old, and I've been working with this project for a couple of years. I joined in 2006, and I just want to say it's great that, you know, even though I'm one of the younger team members, I can still be part of the mod team, and I can still dedicate my talents to a project of this caliber. And I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad that I'm accepted as like a person for my abilities, and not so much that I'm younger than most of the people here. And, you know, I try to keep my work at a level that shows that, you know, I mean business, and I'm serious about what I do here, even though I may be the shortest person in this room right now. But you know, I just wanted to say the great thing about this team is that everyone's accepted, and you know, you're based on the quality of the work that you output and not of your specific age. And I think it's great that, you know, we're able to move forward like that. Thank you.
Yeah. I think as a practical matter, it's pretty much of a non-issue. Just for the people that may be viewing this, the actual quantification of the age span on the teams ranges from a high of 71 to a low of 14. So that's a 57-year age difference. I was surprised. I expected to see more, how shall I say, cultural differences between the age groups. You know, these lists they put out that says, you know, the class of 2014 has never used a phone with a cord and probably hasn't worn a wristwatch, and, you know, for them, Elvis has always been dead. And so I expected to see something like that, you know, see just differences manifested in that way, and I really don't see it, and I'm not quite sure why that is. Part of it is because the subject matter we're communicating about may not, you know, lend itself to revealing those kinds of differences. Every now and again we do, though. I remember Nils and I about a year ago had an IRC chat where we discussed that issue. But in terms of the project, non-issue.
Yeah, non-issue, really. That sums it up.
I think the good issue between having age difference in the team is that you always have someone that is the same age as the person requesting support or asking someone. So you have always someone that can explain it in the same language and the same type of speaking as the person is asking. So you have someone from around 20, but also someone from around 60 or 70 that can explain it in own words and in correct language for that type of person. So I think that's also a good thing within the team.
Next question. This is what was asked by Kane in the chat room a couple of scrolls ago. But this is one I was going to bring up too, because when I talk about phpBB to other people who are not in the loop, a lot of them will ask, well, isn't that declining with the rise of social media, Twitter and Facebook? What are your guys' insights on how bulletin boards are doing compared to newer social media?
Yeah, there's actually a topic running right now whether the end of Facebook is coming, and then there's another topic, I think, in another forum running whether the end of phpBB is coming because of Facebook. I think that Twitter and Facebook and so on are far more likely to drop dead before PHPB drops dead, just because of the way that society functions. We see something like MySpace, for example, which was extremely popular and no one foresaw, which I, by the way, never used, but no one really foresaw the end of MySpace, because even if you consider the age group, which was, I guess, below 20, there's always going to be an infinite supply of people below 20. So you figure there's, chances are it's just going to be a generation after generation of users. And, well, what's MySpace, right? It's just no one uses it anymore. So I think because PHPB is distributed, throughout the internet using just different topics and all sorts of different things, I doubt very much that PHPB will drop before Facebook.
When you think about what the kind of the audience for a bulletin board and a Facebook is, Facebook has a discussion board built in, but if you look at various fan pages or groups or whatever, the discussion boards are unused, with comparison to the wall or the status or the note feature in Facebook. In fact, the thing I use Facebook for the most right now is the chat. So take that for what it's worth.
Stefan, did you want to ask this one too, or should I repeat it for you? Okay, he's going to run over here. Go.
Okay. So back when I was in the support team, we got a lot of questions from people like, okay, so I installed phpBB, now what? How do I get members? Is that question still coming up? And if so, how do you answer that now?
Well, there's a long-running topic on that in the PHPB discussion forum. And, different people have different answers. I think it really kind of depends on what your board is for, how you get your users. If it's another gaming board or another, Xbox board, then you're going to have to fight for them. But if it deals with, a very specialized topic, then you should know how you can communicate with the people in that area.
I would kind of like to use Bob as an example. Username Pitbull. He has a board about pit bulls, which, there may be 100,000 pit bulls in the USA, but that's still a very special topic that you don't find boards about. And also, I would like to mention that Colón will have a talk on this topic at 5 o'clock. Is that right? Later this afternoon, anyway. Anybody?
Both this question and the previous question regarding Facebook is another area where the commercial use of PHPB kind of distinguishes itself from the way in which it's being used by most users now. And that is obviously in the paradigm that I related before about the guy with the sales business. He doesn't have to get users. He's got users. They are his customers. So to an extent, the increase, and really, although there are commercial users of Facebook, to me, the user interface is so chaotic that serious business communications, either in-house or pardon the expression, out-house, are better handled by a bulletin board format than a social media format.
One of the things that has been suggested by some people in the community is, and we highly discourage, is to fake the numbers. Fake the number of users, fake the number of posts, fake posts, So that is something highly discouraged. That's not going to get you members. So, that's something you should back away if you're thinking about it.
Yeah, there is a middle ground, though, and that is you don't have to fake the numbers, but you also don't necessarily have to display them, which is something that I feel a little more comfortable about helping people with.
Next question. Okay, Kellen Ved, our old friend Henry, asked, this is for the mod team, do you guys notice any differences in the mod submitted today as compared to the mod submitted a few years ago? I have a feeling that probably is implying some differences between maybe PHPB2 and PHPB3, but I don't know, maybe you guys are a little newer than that, but however you want to answer that question.
I'm going to defer to Paul, since he was part of the team back then. I mean,
So was I,
sup-
but not for long enough.
All right.
I think the largest difference within the mods we had a few years ago back in the phpBB 2 days, and we have now in the phpBB 3 days, is the quality of the code. The quality of the code is with phpBB 3 a lot better as with phpBB 2 mods. I think that's one of the largest things. That's really the difference within the mods. We see still the same kind of mods are submitted within the mods database. And I think the same kind of users are submitting them. But the coding quality is improved since we introduced phpBB 3 compared with phpBB 2.
I mean, I guess I could mention my own mods. You know,
Igor, are you here? Do you want to say anything?
Right.
No? Darn.
I mean, the quality of my own code way back then was based on phpBB 2 and what I learned from, I don't know, the attachment mod and so on and so forth. So I myself have improved the code on my own mods. So we assume that the users are also kind of progressing little by little in the same regard.
You know, I'm King David just briefly mentioned about Ajax. I guess maybe it's an interesting question that's come up from time to time. What is thoughts on Ajax within phpBB?
I'll go on. Well, the Ajax question kind of just exploded on the scene right after Gmail was created in 2004. It's something that we definitely could and should make use of at some point in the future. For example, like the quick reply or locking a topic, or things just don't necessarily require a page refresh. If you go from one page to an intermediate page and then back. So I would definitely like to see some Ajax used in phpBB, but we definitely encourage a philosophy of moderation. Certain software, like Gmail or Facebook, has overdone it from my point of view. I think somebody said that Facebook loads like 200K of JavaScript, which seems excessive to me, but what do I know?